Yes, everybody, hope you're all doing fantastically well. The cobwebs have nearly been dashed out of my mind, out of my head, after last night's England win. What are you guys doing for the final? Are you guys doing anything for the final? Even if you're not an England fan, what are you doing? Are you watching it? I am thoroughly expecting the Spanish to absolutely batter England and everybody. Listen, taking sentiment out of it, I try to be as neutral as I can with these things sometimes. Even when it's to do with Leeds United, you can't really be neutral when it comes to Leeds and England. But I try to understand what people are thinking who are in the middle of all this sort of stuff. Surely, if football is real and if it is the beautiful game, Spain, in the eyes of the footballing gods, should absolutely tear England apart. This should be 3 or 4-0. So I'm fascinated to see how this one works. Are Gareth Southgate and his men somehow going to be able to disrupt the footballing gods and beat an unbelievable Spanish side? I just don't think they will. But listen, I'm really excited to get back onto Leeds stuff really soon. Obviously, we start next week with Harrogate Town, which is going to be great. Might try and get myself there as well, which will be good. And it starts, and we're hoping next week, or at least not in terms of like hearing more, but in terms of just getting the football season going again. I feel the Euros has been a great break, but listen, I want to get my teeth stuck into Leeds again. We want to analyse the fixtures, want to analyse these transfers, and one which has come out today, which I think is a really top addition if we're able to get that done. The Belfast Telegraph are reporting today, apparently, that Leeds are tracking Trai Hume. Have they been watching my videos? I don't know. No, I'm only messing. But it will be a top signing. He's my number one pick. My number one pick ahead of Connor Roberts, ahead of Van Ewyck. It would be Trai Hume. Let me break down to you exactly why. I've mentioned before, he can play across the back four. Listen, it can be left back, it can be one of the centre back positions, left or right. He's very good with both feet. He's excellent on the ball. He's 1v1 defending. I mean, just watch him against Somerville. Somerville got no change from him, really struggled against him, and he's only 22 years of age. And apparently, the fee that Sunderland are looking for, I mentioned to you guys previously that Sunderland are always willing to sell. Even, I mean, in my opinion, if the suit is right in the division, in the same division, they'll still sell. And that's how I feel it's going to go with Sunderland again this window, whether it be Jack Clark, whether it be Hume, whether it be Patterson in goal for them. And apparently an £8 million figure would see Hume out of Sunderland this window. Now, £8 million. I mean, look, we don't know the financial status of Leeds United, but for me, this is a boy who played 46 games last season for Sunderland. 46. So he was dependable, reliable throughout the entire season, and his performances were up there with Jack Clark in terms of Sunderland's most consistent performers. I've mentioned previously as well that I'm a big fan of Ekwa, the central midfielder. I think Sunderland have got a really good recruitment policy, and these sort of players are indicative of that. Clark taking a chance on him from Tottenham at the time. Obviously, Patterson in net, who's been brilliant, been touted by Premier League clubs. I'd love to have him on our books. And obviously, Trai Hume, who they've just picked out of nowhere, picked out of sort of relative obscurity, really. So yeah, I mean, I think that would be a top addition for Leeds United, and there's plenty of those Sunderland players who I'd take, to be quite honest with you. Another one in the northeast who I'd be looking at is Hayden Hackney at Middlesbrough, who I think is definitely someone who we could court, and definitely someone who, it might be a little bit trickier, to be honest with you, to get someone like Hayden Hackney from Borough, because Gibson is such a meticulous chairman at this level in terms of how scrupulous he is with financial gain. So, but Sunderland, this is why I sort of lean on this one a little bit more, because I think it's realistic. I think that their almost Moneyball approach, which mirrors that of Brentford's, is something that would really aid Leeds United here in terms of getting him for a good fee. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to say, Connor, what about Connor Roberts? Okay, so the benefits, in my opinion, for Trai Hume over Connor Roberts is he's younger. I think he's more dependable throughout a season. He's got a very, very good injury record. I think he's better than Connor Roberts going forward. I think 1v1 defending as well. I think Trai Hume's on the same level. I do rate Connor Roberts when it comes to 1v1 defending, but I think Trai Hume's more than on his level. Now, Van Ewyck, obviously the commentary right back who I've mentioned many times in my videos. I think Van Ewyck's probably better going forward, but primarily you want that defensive solidity from a right back, and I think that versatility as well, everybody. If you can get, you know, a young lad, 22, adaptable to multiple positions. I think Van Ewyck has played left, he's played right, but Hume's played centre-back. He's played centre-back, he's played across that back four, and I just think for 8 million quid, if Leeds can get that one done, that is a top addition. And that would be the right back sorted for me. I'd be pretty safe and secure with knowing that Byram can fill in at right back, because I think Hume will be playing week in, week out. And the big thing here is, everybody, with Trai Hume, it's the long-term projection. Now, if you get to the Premier League, I think this is another Championship edition who, in my opinion, would go from strength to strength. And in my opinion, would also bring you an unbelievable sell-on value with his age. You know, doesn't work out for Leeds United, or if it does work out at Leeds United, you know, I guess that's the slant that you want it to work at. If he does work out at Leeds United, you know, you've got two options. You've got an unbelievable footballer there who I think he's going to be, I think next season, if he stays in the Championship again, where it's looking likely, I think Trai Hume's going to be the best fullback in the division. There's an argument right now that he's the best fullback in the division, but I think maybe you're looking at a few others who are a little bit ahead of him. But I think next season he's going to be the best one by a mile. And I think people will be talking about him. I think you're going to get Premier League clubs sniffing around him next season. I think that adaptability to the Premier League with him is going to be absolutely seamless. So the Belfast Telegraph today are reporting, and have reported before, that Sunderland won 8 million quid for him, and he's a Leeds United target. And yeah, it comes out of nowhere really, because as I've just mentioned to you guys, it was something that I was discussing in terms of targets. Obviously the Telegraph report on it now. You do wonder if this is ever going to become an actual thing, because Sunderland, as I mentioned previously, it's so interesting that, you know, that figure is being quoted already by this publication. You do wonder whether or not there's a bit of agent leak there, a bit of club leak as well. And that'd be my number one signing. And then, as I've said, I don't think you need like a top right back to come in and supplement him. I think you may need that with Roberts. There might be a couple of games where he's out per season. When I say a couple of games, there might be sort of a month where he's out. Trai Hume, over his career, I was looking at it earlier on, even before he was at Sunderland, never misses a game, barely misses a game. So really interesting news today on the rumour mill. That's probably the big one today. I didn't realise he was even a target, to be quite honest with you. And for 8 million quid, absolute banker for me, everybody. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Trai Hume or not? Van Ewyck, would he be the man for you? Or would it be Connor Roberts? And are any of these a target? You know, there's, as I've just mentioned previously, the YEP were reporting earlier on that Connor Roberts isn't even on the radar for Leeds right now. But that doesn't mean that he can't, you know, be on the radar a little bit later on. But I'm thinking Premier League projections, if that is the case, good signing.